The 2025 WNBA season has started. Now, as fans, what do we have to look forward to? In some way too early predictions, possible MVPs, Rookie of the Year, will we have a repeat from the Liberty, and who are some of the contending teams that want to take that title away from them? DeWanna Bonner is now the third leading scorer in WNBA history. Tina Charles returns to the Connecticut Sun, and Malonga debuts. Who will get dunked on? We saw some good work from the preseason games, but after some pretty unsettling cuts, we saw 20 rookies make it to the season opener for 2025, which is a decent increase from last year's 13. Paige Bueckers played her first regular season game with the Dallas Wings. Now she's going to get a lot of playing time just being the number 1 pick. She got a lot of decent minutes, and looks like it'll be a pretty good partnership with her and Arike Ogunbowale. But the Wings just went up against a powerhouse in the Lynx. Playing 30 minutes, she only went 3 for 10, but she got a 10-7 and 2 stat line, so it's not that bad, especially for her first game. And going up against the Minnesota Lynx is wild. I mean, Nafisa Collier had 34 points in this game, but Paige definitely showed why she's the number 1 pick. Coming into the W is definitely going to be a bit of a learning curve, but already she's got excellent vision on the floor. You can tell the chemistry with the Wings is going to get better. Going up against the Lynx was definitely a good test for this new look team, but as the players around her start to gel, I think she'll have a pretty good season. Dejanay Carrington definitely put in some work over the offseason. Her footwork looks great. She's obviously been working on her jump shot, and she's already a killer on defense, so we didn't have to worry about that there. But having Segrist coming off the bench, McCowan, Harris, they have a little bit of depth here, so really they just have to get that chemistry together. And again, with Paige just having that learning curve coming into the W, I think they'll get it together. Even if it's not this year, probably next year, they'll have a decent run in the playoffs. We also had a nice season opener from the Atlanta Dream and the Washington Mystics, especially for the rookies. This was a really good game. Kiki Ierfin and Sonia Citron showed out for the Mystics. They were definitely the key to the Mystics winning that game. The Dream probably thought they had an easy win, but the Mystics took over. They do have some young vets, as Brittany Sykes likes to say, in Sykes and Stephanie Dolson, but they got 19 points out of Sonia Citron. She just looks like she already knows what's going on. The learning curve for her may be a little less sharp than others. It just looks like she has a really good feel for the game. They're already saying she's got a pretty good case for Rookie of the Year. Again, this is just a way too early yakety yak, but she played very well. And Ierfin had a really good game against the Dream with 14 points, but she also had a nice game against the Connecticut Sun going up against Tina Charles. She was just fearless, whether she was getting backed down by Tina Charles or trying to score on her. To be a rookie, it just looks like she has a lot of confidence, even going up against a legend like Tina Charles. I am a little concerned at what we'll see going forward. Shakira Austin and Aaliyah Edwards didn't play for different injury reasons. So Ierfin probably got the start just because of injuries. So moving forward, I wonder how they work through this roster, especially with the Mystics taking early wins in the season. Alright, and taking a look at the contenders. The Liberty had their ring night ceremony against the Las Vegas Aces, and man, did the Aces want to upset that night. But the Liberty came out swinging and really never stopped. Natasha Cloud was such a wonderful addition to this team. It's crazy how well she fits with New York. From her toughness to her quickness, I mean, how she speaks, I know the fans already love her. She was a spark plug, a little firecracker for the Liberty, and they pulled out the win pretty easily. Even behind Asia Wilson's 31 points and 16 rebounds. I mean, geez, she was showing out. She definitely wanted to win to start the season off, but she got very little help from everybody else. I mean, Jackie Young had 16 points. Chelsea Gray actually had a pretty good game at 12 points. She had a couple of good assists, but something is not right with Jewel Lloyd. I thought maybe the offseason playing an unrivaled or even just a new team would kind of jumpstart or invigorate or fix whatever's going on there. But she only had 5 points, and I know the Aces as a whole are depending on a lot more points from her. They're expecting at least 10 points from her a game. They actually got a nice spark in Dana Evans off the bench with 10 points, but it just wasn't enough. The Liberty went crazy. Brianna Stewart had a quiet 25 points, and 8 rebounds, which is crazy. Jonquel Jones put up a pretty good fight against A'ja Wilson. Only 17 points and 10 rebounds. Again, A'ja Wilson had 31 points, but just looking at what everybody else did, she did the best she could do. Natasha Cloud gave him 22 points and 9 assists. I mean, again, New York has to love her. Sabrina had a pretty quiet night, 8 points, 7 rebounds, but it's opening night. I think she definitely wanted to see her teammates eat, and they got the win, so it definitely wasn't a problem for New York. The Lynx are definitely contending. They had that blowout against the Wings, and Nafisi Collier had an MVP night, but Courtney Williams also dropped 25 and 9 assists on the Wings that night. We don't have McBride yet, but Shepherd dropped 13. They're playing very cohesively. They got a lot of chemistry. Pilly saw some playing time. So after last year's run, making it all the way to the finals, it's some slight tweaks, but it's pretty much the same team. So throughout the year, all they can do is really just prepare for the playoffs and be ready for that run. The top contenders for me are the Liberty, the Aces, and the Lynx. And really, it's probably just the Liberty and the Lynx at this point after watching the Aces and the holes they'll need to fill throughout the season. But then right behind them, you kind of have the middle of the pack that could be contenders. And one of those teams is definitely the Fever. They retooled amazingly in the offseason, just putting all these amazing pieces around Caitlin Clark, DeWanna Bonner, Sydney Colson, Natasha Howard, bringing back Kelsey Mitchell, adding Lexi Hull, Sophie Cunningham. They really did a nice job just making sure she had a good supporting cast. And they showed out. I mean, they blew the sky away in this game. You can't really call it chemistry, even though they do have that core four going on there. But it's like everybody's bought into what the goal is, what the game plan is. So just making it to the playoffs, they'll probably have a good shot round 2. Just from energy, determination, adrenaline, knowing you have someone like Caitlin Clark on the team. I mean, she got a triple-double in the season opener along with 4 blocks. So they know that's the head of the snake, and they just have to make it to the end, probably healthy, and they'll have a decent playoff run. The Sky struggled a bit, which is concerning because they're fully healthy. They didn't bring back Kennedy Carter, which is wild because that's pretty much what they needed throughout the night, just scoring. They got a little action from Ariel Atkins, but you can see they just have a lot of problems on offense. At the very end, they gave Haley Van Lith some garbage time, and she went 2 for 2, but they definitely have some work to do, especially if they're going to build around Angel Reese. They have her in that point forward position, which I think is wonderful. That's great, but they have to build around it properly if they're going to make any noise this season or next season. Phoenix is another team that's right below the contenders and almost contender. And they probably take that slot for the Aces for me more than any other team this year. Alyssa Thomas and Satu Sabali went crazy in their opener. And they don't even have Kalia Copper back from injury yet. AT is definitely working as their floor general. She got 20 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists in that first game. Sabali is definitely working the offense goes through me type position. She had 27 points in that opener, really hitting shots from everywhere. They even got 11 points off the bench from Alexa Held. They actually look like they've been playing together for years instead of just now being put together over the offseason. Depending on how they look over the next few games, the Seattle Storm was an odd test. I'm not really sure if that was the best battle test for them, and then getting Kalia Copper back, this could definitely be the sleeper team for the season. And they blew out the Storm. Skylar Diggins was their highest scorer with 21 points, and then you got 12 points from Nneka Ogwumike. They just had a lot of trouble getting into any type of rhythm. Ogwumike blamed the refs, and there were a lot of fouls being called, but it definitely looked like a choppy game from the Storm, while the Mercury just got into a rhythm and a flow. They'll have a little bit to work on, just depending on where they want to go. They have decent vets with Gabby Williams, Clark, Nneka Ogwumike, Skylar Diggins, and then decent young energy. Dominique Malonga, that's their number 2 pick. Erica Wheeler that came over from the Fever as a free agent. I think that's a nice pickup for them. Lexi Brown, Lee LaRue, Zaya Cook. They have a decent team here. I want to say chemistry, just working together and getting used to the team will probably help them along the way, but I think they just need some reps as a team together also. That core 3 in Skylar Diggins, Nneka Ogwumike, and Gabby Williams are the leaders and the vets on this team, and then they really just have to get some help from the young core, the young squad that they have, And if they get some help from the younger players on the team, they'll probably have a decent season. But after losing Jewel Lloyd, it definitely seems like they have to reestablish their identity. And then we had the debut of debuts. The Golden State Valkyries hosted the Los Angeles Sparks in their first franchise game ever. And just as a team, they were leaning into the energy and what they were trying to build, especially with the crowd. Of course, they wanted that first game opener, but that's a lot to ask for, especially going up against the retooled Sparks. I mean, Kelsey Plum had 37 points, setting the record for season openers after Nafisa Collier had just broke the record earlier in the day. They got a lot of production from their squad. Dearica Hamby gave them 14, Azurá Stevens gave them 11, Rakia Jackson gave them 13. They were just hitting it from everywhere. Odyssey Sims gave them 7. They have a lot of motion and trust in each other right now. They are still missing Cameron Brink, so we'll see what they look like fully tooled, but they gave it to the Valkyries, ruining the season opener, but the franchise opener as well. The Valkyries got decent production from Tiffany Hayes. She was their leading scorer with 19 points. I love watching Tip play. She was their spark, their firecracker, their drive to the hole when they really needed a bucket. Timmy Fag-Benlay gave them 15. She gave them 2 out of 4 from the three-point line as well, which is beautiful to see, especially in this day and age. That could be a tool they use in the future, but I know with her, they're probably more focused on defense as far as fundamentals and getting better. Julie Van Loo gave them 14 points off the bench, hitting 4 threes. She actually just had some electric back-to-back possessions that just got the crowd fired up, and that's exactly what the Valkyries need, because it may not be a win, but they just need a good energy in the building. Kate Martin played 21 minutes and only gave them 2 points. That's tough. Just looking at her field goals, going 0 for 3. That's not even enough shots being taken, let alone made. And with it being year 2, you definitely expect some progression, some aggression, some confidence there. She has to be more aggressive than that. We got to see more production than 2 points from one of the franchise faces. They did lose Ray Burrell on a kick out by the shooter when she was closing out. Injuries suck, but especially ones like this, so we wish her a quick recovery. So just for opening day for a franchise, it was more about just starting the momentum and getting the fans involved. Again, they would have loved the win, but it was good for Golden State, the area, the fan base, the franchise itself. Overall, I think it was a pretty good opening weekend for the WNBA. There was a lot of activity online. There are a lot more eyes on the WNBA right now. Besides the blowouts, obviously the games were really good. I like what we're seeing from the Mystics and Phoenix. I think we might have some fun upsets in the playoffs this year. One of the best things to look out for this season in the WNBA is Dominique Malonga. And if we'll see somebody get dunked on this season. It's a lot of discourse around Rakia Jackson and Sydney Colson, but I just think there's no way. Who's going to get dunked on is going to depend on who's in the paint and who's going up for that block or denial, which in my opinion gives you somebody like A'ja Wilson or Jonquel Jones. Now at the same time, you could get somebody that just loves to block, which again gives you A'ja Wilson, but you also get Ezzie McBeggar, Alana Smith, and somebody like Brittany Griner. This is probably one of my favorite storylines, so I can't wait till we find out who it is. That person will go down in history, even if it's just being dunked on. But Dominique Malonga will definitely be fun to watch, even though she's got a bit of a learning curve coming into the W. This is the type of thing that just adds to the fun of basketball and being a fan.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, players.